Good afternoon, everybody. I am Dustin Cronin, and I am the president and founder of Creating Connections Piece by Piece. And I am an autistic individual who lives with autism, who aims to help other folks communicate with other individuals on the autism spectrum. And today, this is part 2 of disclosing your disability to your employer. And the experience I want to share is my experience working the front end register at Whataburger. And let's start off. Running the front end register in store is almost the same as working on the drive-thru, except for you don't have to take orders or make the drinks, but you still have to make the shakes. But the cups you can just hand to the customers. So I talked about running the register or scrolling for orders. And when I was working the front end register, one day there was one customer, and this is another story I have at Water besides the story that I shared in my drive-through video. And anyways, when I was working the front end register, I was taking an order for this customer, and he said, I want an A1 thick and hearty, and I want to substitute the A1 thick and hearty sauce for honey barbecue, and no grilled onion. And I was taking forever on the register, and I was scrolling around when I was trying to ring his order up, and I was taking too long to do it because I didn't want to bug the managers. And so he went and complained when I finally did it, and he said, this guy is taking forever to ring up his order. And there were other customers behind him, and they were also getting impatient as well, so they walked out of the store. And I took forever to find it, to learn how to ring up the A1 thick and hearty and take off the grilled onions. So anytime on the register, whether I was working drive-through or front end, I could always ring up a number 1, number 2, and if I didn't have to make any modifications, that was easy. The thing that I had the most trouble with on the register, and both on the drive-through as well, is ringing it up plain and dry, or ringing no onions, no tomato, or finding the all-time favorites, or finding the water chicken sandwich. So I had trouble scrolling around and not knowing where everything was. And same thing on the front end register, and I explained about how I counted the money and everything on my last video on my drive-through one. So there was one time when the area manager came in the store, and I mentioned this on my last video where I said, is there anything else I can get you? And he said, will that complete your order? And so that's what I was supposed to say, will that complete your order? And I wasn't moving fast enough when I was ringing their orders, and I was getting too overwhelmed when there was customers, or even if customers, like were drunk and they would give me a hard time, I didn't know how to read them or know how to deal with them. If they were drunk or if they were acting silly, I couldn't read their body languages either. And that was another thing I struggled with on the drive-through as well. And so now that I've mentioned register and I've mentioned the drive-through experience, I will also get into my board and grill experience on my next video. So I hope everybody is having a great, wonderful day, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to submit them in the comment box. And if there's anything I can do to help you, and like I said, I don't believe that people should be made to disclose their disability. I do believe that they should have personal choices, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I will say this, and I said this in my last video, and it's always best to disclose your disability. Hiding your disability from your workplace employer does not solve the problem with discrimination. And why it doesn't solve the problem with discrimination, because if you're not counting the money fast enough, or if they put you on the drive-through, or they put you on somewhere where you're not communicating, you're going to leave them wondering why. Or if you're falling behind on drinks at the drive-through, or say if you're working the board and grill, you got to, after you, not only you have to cook the burgers, but you have to transfer the meat. And if you're not transferring the meat, or if you're getting too overwhelmed and you can't handle the pressure, then they may have to pull you. Then they're going to have to pull you off and put somebody else on there who can do it quicker. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thank you all so much, and you have a great, wonderful day, everyone.